improvement with its incursion on voting rights and its willingness to place elections for sale. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that is an interesting and I think accurate indictment.
Yeah, I mean, the Supreme Court has not served America well, and it hasn't served America well throughout almost all of its history. I mean, you know, you can point to the marriage equality cases, which I think are going to turn out well. You can point to Brown, but I mean, even Brown was an historic accident. You know, Justice Black, who was one of the biggest champions inside the court for Brown, was a Ku Klux Klansman. When he was a senator from Alabama, he belonged to the Ku Klux Klan, and he had a change of heart. But, you know, thank God he had a change of heart. We couldn't have predicted that. You know, Chief Justice Vinson, who was the Chief Justice when the case was originally heard, voted the wrong way in Brown, and then he had a fatal heart attack. And if it wasn't for that fatal heart attack, and if it wasn't for Hugo Black's change of heart, and if it wasn't for a bunch of other unpredictable events, Brown probably would have gone the wrong way.
Wow.
You know, the Supreme Court, you know, it's not just that they've been bad at the times that they were bad, and, you know, those were the times when they were standing for child labor or when they were threatening to strike down Obamacare. But even when they were good, they were only good because of a bunch of freakish events happened that are unlikely to happen again.
Yeah. I mean, you say, you know, you argue the Supreme Court has seized power for itself that rightfully belongs to the people's elected representatives, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg recently, I'm sure you saw this, Ian, but I swear to God, first of all, every time I see her talk, I'm like, stay healthy, stay healthy, please. Stay healthy, please.
Yeah, seriously, please live forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doubled down on her belief that Citizens United was the worst decision made by the current U.S. Supreme Court, saying it's the first decision she would overturn if she had a magic wand. Do you agree, Ian?
I mean, it's certainly. I mean, I because there's this terrible healthcare case looming. You know, I don't want to name one decision as the worst when that prediction could be taken out. But no, Citizens United's been terrible. You know, the idea behind Citizens United. This was the holding of Citizens United. This is what they said in the opinion: is that it is not corrupting if people are giving hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, in one person's case over $150 million, in order to influence elections. As if politicians are going to be like, oh, you know, there's this guy over here who just gave $2 million to the super PAC that helped me, but, you know, I'm not going to want him to do him any favors.
Yeah, right. Ruth Bader Ginsburg said it cost millions of dollars to fund a campaign for a state Supreme Court. Something is terribly wrong. I think we are reaching the saturation point. I can't say when, but one day sensible restrictions on campaign financing will be the law of this land. Yes, it will happen. I mean, do you agree?
I mean, I hope she's right. I mean, it depends on who's president for the next, you know, 4, 8, 12 years and who they get to replace on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Because, you know, ultimately this comes down to whether we can replace one of the 5 in the majority with someone who's going to think differently. Right.
She said one of the more shameful byproducts of Citizens United, she linked it to the staggeringly low voter turnout.